Okay, we are solving a system of equations by elimination. We're going to keep it really simple today. You add the equations together to make one of the variables cancel out. Sometimes it is necessary to multiply one of the equations by -1. Okay? Solve for the leftover variable. One of the variables is going to go away. That's the idea. Eliminate a variable. Elimination. Then you'll substitute the answer back into one of the original equations to solve for the second variable. Okay, here we go. Notice that in this first equation, the positive y and the negative y is going to cancel out when I add. Positive y, negative y is 0y. So 2x plus x is 3x. 4 plus 2 is 6. There's only one variable left over because one of the variables got eliminated. So now I divide by 3 and x is 2. I substitute this back into either of these equations. It doesn't matter which one. I went into this one. 2 minus y equals 2. Subtract the 2 out. That gives me 0. Negative y equals 0. So therefore y is 0. So my answer here is 2, 0. Okay. Now, this is 3x plus 5y equals 0 and 2x minus 5y equals -10. Again, the object of this method is that one of the variables eliminates out. You'll see that the y eliminated. Now, the y eliminated here as well, but realize that it's not always the y. It could be the x or the first variable for using something besides x and y. So 3x and 2x is 5x. This is -10. When you add them together, you solve for the x, you get -2. Substitute back into one of the equations. 3 times -2 is -6 plus 5y equals 0. Add 6 to both sides. You end up with positive 6. Divide by 5, you get 6/5. Again, this would have been difficult to solve with graphing because of the fractional answer. So it's -2 and 6/5. That's your answer. All right, let's look at example number 3. In this particular instance, one of the variables does not cancel out when you add. You have a -m and a -m, which is -2m. So you can't just add these together. So what you need to do is take one of the equations, it doesn't matter which one, and multiply by -1. I just took the first one. That's going to become positive m, a -3n, and a -2. Be sure you distribute that throughout the entire equation. Now you can add the equations together, and my m's are going to cancel, and then I have 2n and -3n, which is n equals 1. When you divide through by -1, n is equal to -1. Okay, then take that answer, substitute back into one of the original equations. The reason I say original is because it will become apparent if you made a mistake right here. If you made a mistake distributing, you'll find your mistake, or most likely will find your mistake here. So anyway, n is equal to -1, so I'm just going to go into this one. No good reason why I could have gone into this one. -m plus 3 times -1 equals 2. -m minus 3 equals 2. Add 3 to both sides. I get -m equals 5. Divide through by -1, and m is -5. So my answer here, you always, now this is a good one because I don't have x and y, so you need to know how to write your answer. You write them alphabetically. So m comes before n in the alphabet, so I would write it as -5, -1 as my answer. Okay, this one over here, nothing's canceling out because I have 2p and 2p. So again, I need to multiply through by -1. So I just chose the first equation. I could have chosen the second equation to do that with. It wouldn't matter. So when I multiply through by -1, I get -2p plus 2q equals -2. Now I'm gonna add these equations. My p's are gonna cancel. I end up with 6q equals 2. Divide by 6, and q is 1/3. 2 over 6 reduces to 1/3. Put 1/3 back into the equation, and fractions are not fun, but remember, you do have a fraction button on your calculator. So 2p minus 2 times 1/3 is equal to 2. 2 times 1/3 is 2/3. Add 2/3 to both sides. Now, I did this with my head and not with a calculator. So I just wrote over here, 2 is equal to 6/3. It is. And 6/3 and 2/3 is 8/3. And when you divide by 2, that's the same thing. Okay, so if I took 8/3 and divided by 2, remember from elementary school, that's the same thing as 8/3 times 1/2. Remember, your teachers taught you to copy times flip. So that's 8 over 6, which reduces to 4/3. All right, so my answer for this one is, the P comes first, 4/3 and 1/3. All right, thank you.